Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning into Xavier's Journey. Tonight, we have the pleasure having Juliette Mills with Jules Collection and Accessories. So tonight, I'm gonna ask Miss Juliette, give us the what was the passion of you making your collection? When did it start? Did it come with a vision that you wanted to start bags? Give me a little uh, vision of your collection and why we are here now.
Hello, everybody. Such a pleasure to be here today. Thank you so much, Xavier, for having
You're
me
welcome.
here. Love you, love you, love you, my brother. My name is Juliette Mills Lutrot, and I'm the founder of Jules Collections and a bigger brand called House of Jules. So, Jules Collections is a handbag line, Italian leather handbag line I started about 12 years ago. And the vision of this came to me years ago when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was going through treatment. I had just come back from chemo and laying in my bed, my husband brought me a magazine. I was going through the magazine. It must have been either Nordstrom's or Neiman's or one of those signature stores with fabulous handbags. And as I went through, I kept seeing all these beautiful bags and would look at the bottom of the page, and it was just ridiculously priced. So it really made me want to Google research into leather and who these manufacturers are and how they're able to price these bags at such astronomical prices. Now, before I knew, by my maybe second month into chemo, I had surrounded myself with samples of leather. I was researching how to design a handbag. What are some of the softwares to do this? I am a 30-year veteran, I should say, of the cosmetology industry. And I think most of you know when you already have that artistic background, you kind of feed into that artistic world. And Xavier, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes, I
Yes.
do.
You feel you see anything artistic, whether it's the way you dress, is the way you put yourself together, is just how you decorate your house, little things like that. So
Right,
it really made me say, okay, how can we start a line, thinking of going back to work into the women that I was raising myself in, basically,
right,
as a
right.
hairstylist. So I started my first collection, and it's interesting when I look back 13 years later how much we've grown as a brand and how well we've come. Through that journey of breast cancer, as I mentioned earlier, I started also Pink for Africa, which became um, the Jules Collections, the handbag line, donates 20% of its profits to Pink for Africa to help women. And
Right.
to date, Pink for Africa has educated a little over 1 million people. We have donated a little over $400,000 into hospitals and women to help with chemo radiation. We've donated over 600 prosthetics to women across Africa, and we continue to do so every year. So through a bad thing came a great, great thing.
Right. So when you go to Africa, what are you educate? You're educating the women on what?
So every month of October, every year in October, I am in Africa. I'm in Africa for the whole month. We started in Ghana and we've been in Ghana for a while because since I do it only once a month, I mean, in the month of October, that you can't cover everywhere. You start in one area and you stay there for the month and then you go to the next area. So we've been doing this. We started with education, just
Hmm.
basically teaching women how to self-examine and what to do if you feel a lump, and
Right.
the importance of stigmas, because across Africa there's a lot of stigmas around just in general. It's the devil's disease. If you have breast cancer, you are a devil's child. Your
Right.
husband's run away. Just a lot of different things that affect breast cancer. So trying to educate women on the importance of early detection, catching your tumors early, going to the hospital. And then we realized that through education, we needed to give more. We needed to do more. So women were coming up year after year saying, I've been diagnosed and I don't know what to do. I don't have any money. I make X amount of money. The hospital wants so much money. So we decided to start raising money to support these women who could not otherwise afford.
Wow. That's interesting. That's interesting. So I will ask you this. What inspires you in your design choices?
So initially, I remember I sat down and I went through all of my mother's old pictures. I started from black and white pictures. Wow. And my mother was one of those people who every event she went to, she had a dress made. So I remember she had so many pictures of her bags and her shoes and everything that matched so elegantly. And as I looked at these different pictures, I was even motivated. So then I started from the 30s and I looked at when a woman walked in the room, the elegance of a woman walking into the room, placing her handbag down, taking her gloves off and putting it on her handbag. And most of these bags were pieces that were, handheld, bags that were handheld, and they were just so elegant. Right. And I thought, let me do something that complements structure. So look at this structure. Look at, if you could easily put this in the 1920s and 1930s. Wow. Exactly. So that era really influenced me. So I looked at in the 40s and 50s, who are the Don Dadas of handbags? So from Yves Saint Laurent to Christian Dior to Chanel to Gucci to Louis. These are the Don Dadas, the Don Corleones of handbags. Right. So let me look at what they've done in their generation, pull up all that looks and see how I can begin to learn and grow from that. Wow. So that's my influence.
Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, so let me ask you one question because I've seen all your collections. Excuse me. What is your it bag or it bags?
So my it bag, for me, it differs because I get excited. I'm like a kid in a candy store when we start to design and then we pick hardware and we finish the product and then I finally get the shipment that comes to me. When I'm opening it up, it's like a kid in a candy store. I'm very excited.
So what is the hardware you're talking about? What's hardware like what?
So hardware is this. Hardware is what hardware we choose to put on the purses. So I'll give you an example. I'll pull something for you and show you. So this is one of the pieces we created recently. And this hardware, for example, is right there. So when you look at this is how you enter into this section of the bag. Wow. And then when you look closely, you're going to see that this little circle piece, this buckle that holds onto the strap, has this other smaller piece here that also allows you to put the crossbody piece on there. And so I noticed over the years as I designed that most of the handbags with heavy hardware or a lot of hardware make the purses heavy. Right. Already you have 100% leather. That's going to be heavy. So you don't want to do big bulky hardware that makes it too heavy and difficult to carry. So this, for example, has two sections to this. You have this section and you have that section. Right. So you have these two sections. Each closes very differently. This one closes right up to the front right here. And then back here is just a snap.
Wow. So does it have to be like you have a chain, you have the leather, you have the clutch? Your bags are like that?
So let me show you my envelope bag. This is called the envelope bag. So for example, this bag here is piped with a beautiful powder blue It opens beautifully. It has two little pieces in here that opens. And then you go into, if you look closely, you're going to see I give you credit card holders in here.
That's very unique and different. Yes.
I give you a zipper in the back. I give you an entrance here and an entrance here. And then behind the bag, I give you a pocket right here. So this little bag, even though it's little and my name is right there, even though it is a little bag, it goes from, you can tuck this leather part right inside and make it only a chain bag for the night. You can adjust the length of the chain. You can double strap, okay? Double it. And then you can also crossbody it.
Okay, so you can wear it in different ways.
Yes, you can.
Wow, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
So I think that
so let me ask you one quick. All your bags are like that, or just certain?
Majority of them.
Okay.
Majority of them. So majority of them don't necessarily have the chain.
Right.
Majority of them have, like, for example, let me show you this. This is one of my classics.
Oh, I love when Maria Davis sent me that, I fell in love with it. And I'm not even a woman that I just love unique bags on women.
Well, this is a very unisex bag, even though it's because of the leaf style, you really can wear it either or. One of the things I love about this is a leaf we eat out of in Africa. So I basically finished eating my rice and beans and I said, you know what? I took a picture of it and I sent it to my manufacturer. I said, what can we do? And initially he sent me the leather. It was smooth. I said, no, I need to feel the grain in this bag. Right. And that's what he did. So we lined this in suede, and this has two straps. This has a long strap, a short strap, which is on it, and then you can carry it as a clutch.
So your inspiration, because you're originally from Africa.
So I'm a mixed race girl. I am born and raised African from Ghana, West Africa. My father is Lebanese and my mother is from Ghana. Okay. And born and raised in Ghana, with your mother being a Ghanaian, you're going to learn all the languages. So I speak about 9 different dialects in Ghana. And I love going home and doing what I do besides being for Africa, which I think is the best thing I've ever done in my life, besides bringing my kids into the world. Right. But this is another leaf collection.
Wow. So the reason why I asked you that, because from your background, so your background, you get your colors, you get your inspiration. That's how the bags come to fruition.
So one of the things, you cannot help by what you're influenced by at the end of the day. So for me, what I saw growing up, all the colors and the fabrics, all the colors I saw growing up really is a part of how I look and dress every day. If you look at me, that's how I'm dressed. Right. I'm always colorful. So that color, I cannot help it. If you look behind me, the painting behind me is of color. And that's just what I come from. So one of the things you will find in the line is absolutely every color known to man you will find. Right. And this is my butterfly, part of my butterfly collection. I am a butterfly girl. Okay. So if you see, I have a butterfly necklace on. I'm a butterfly girl. So this is one of the pieces this comes in 5 colors. Again, it's embossed in croc. It is beautiful, beautiful. Lined in suede. It is absolutely beautiful. It has a crossbody with it. It has a zipper back here. No, it just has an envelope. It's to be able to get in. And on all the bags, it tells you exactly this, Juls Collections. It also gives you a care tip. And it also tells you, buy a bag save a life. Ask me how. And then you go on to see Pink for Africa and what the proceeds go to. Some, 20% of our proceeds go to. So the idea is that one thing that I've come to appreciate is that for women to design a product or to create something that goes to benefit women, I think is absolutely fantastic.
Right.
It's okay for all of us to make money. There's nothing wrong with making money. It's how we live and how we support ourselves. But when you can see beyond making money and reaching back and giving back, I think it's really fantastic.
It sounds so interesting. I might want to go make a bag. So,
the wonderful thing, Xavier, is that it doesn't have to be bags. You can create what you love.
Right.
So whatever it is you love, create it in such a way that as you talk about it and as you sell it to people, you can then use it as a platform to also help other people.
Right.
Wow. So I think life has a way of rewarding all of us. For me, I look back 14 years in remission, and I think breast cancer was the best thing that ever happened to me.
So let me take you to, so when we go to Africa in October, what are you doing with the women? What are you sharing your experience?
So I do 4 different segments. One of the segments is education. So what does education mean? Education means that we go to all of the schools. The schools are anywhere from age 14 to age 22. Then we jump into the universities and we educate there. Majority of the schools in Africa are boarding schools. So kids are already on campus. And the biggest school we've done was about 2,800 students that we educated in one place.
Right.
We go to churches, we go to women's organizations, we go to anywhere there is people, we're there. We've done companies like, the headquarters of a bank. We've done so many different platforms, hotels. The entire hotel will bring the entire staff in and we will go and educate. So along with education, Pink for Africa has these self-examination cards and we give to everybody. And then we have a dummy breast that has lumps in it and we send it around for people to feel the lumps, to see. Every now and then we will have a doctor. Then I do television and radio to make my outreach even bigger to places that I may not physically be there myself, I can reach. So we do that all through the month. Sometimes I'm rolling from a television show to a school, from a school to a church, from a church to the hospital. Then we have the hospital segments where we actually go to donate prosthetics, to donate financial support. So we have women that the hospital groups together for the month of October for those who are coming in and cannot afford their treatments. We put them through an application process. We interview them, we screen them, we vet them, then we approve them. Once they're approved, we go right ahead and pay for their treatment. We send one of our people to go with them a couple of times for treatment to make sure they're on the right track. We connect them with the psychologist of the hospital so that they can get some psychology support. And we keep track of how they are doing throughout the treatment.
That's important because education is the key to. So basically, let's give the audience a little background. So you was a stylist first, and then you changed career because you went through basically you went through something. So
yes,
how did we go from being a stylist to where you are now?
So, and Xavier, this, as stylists, our work is tedious in the sense that not only are you entertaining people and hosting people, it's also tough on your body. So as time goes on, if your lifespan as a stylist is 30 years, you're very lucky. So I knew as I was growing in the industry, at some point I needed to transition out. So already 10 years prior to me leaving the industry, maybe even 15 years prior to leaving the industry, I already knew I needed to start looking for something else to do to transition out of hair.
Right.
So the first thing in my mind was, I'm a hair care specialist, Juls Studios, everybody knew me. We did work from Fashion Week all the way to television work, CBS, NBC. We did all of that backstage.
Right, right.
And I also taught through the Caribbean. I was teaching with a couple of products through the Caribbean. So I knew that as a teacher, as an educator, as a stylist, I could easily come up with a product. I'd worked with so many different products. I know good conditioners when I feel it. So I knew. So creating a product was one of the things I wanted to do to help me transition out. But then I realized even with the product, you still have to stand behind a chair. Yes. Because you have to be able to sell your product. You have to be able to, show and demonstrate how your product works. And I said, no, I really cannot do that. I'll do the product, but I will need to approach it differently. Right. So when I was going through chemo and the opportunity for me to create the handbag line came up, I really did not know what I was doing. All I know was that I had an eye and I love classic things. I love clean things. But I also knew that I was hardworking, I was a determined woman, and I was going to be committed, and I was not going to take no for an answer.
Right.
So, to all the young people out there who want to create a product, they want to listen, dedication, commitment, consistency. You have to show up for yourself and be consistent. That consistency is going to push you further along the way.
Amen.
So, I knew. So transitioning, I started as a hairstylist. Yes, I did it for 30 years. I would not change one thing. I loved standing behind the chair. I loved pouring into women. I loved the fellowship of the shop. The styling chair became my pulpit. And Xavier, listen.
Yes, you're the lawyer. You're the lawyer. Excuse me. The lawyer, doctor, socialist. You become the.
You're everything. You're the counselor.
Everything.
You're the big sister. You're the mama. You're the boyfriend. You're all of it. And at the end of the day, you realize that you grow as a person standing behind a chair. I couldn't have raised my family without all the women that came through my chair. I couldn't have been a better wife, a better mother, a better sister, a better friend without all of them.
Right.
So it's beautiful how they all shape you into becoming the person you are today.
Yes.
That chair is powerful, man.
Yes. But see, for me, I think pandemic made me really come to the place where, I've been doing hair and singing for years. I love to sing. Okay, let's put that on the shelf. Styling, I wanted to come out and do something else. I never thought I would have a talk show. Just celebrating my birthday, going live on Facebook, saying, everyone, thank you for the birthday celebration of friends. And I got 3 calls to say, Xavier, you are a talker. Get on YouTube and talk. And that's how it started. That's where we are now. And I'm sometimes I pinch myself. Is this really going on?
That's beautiful, though, Xavier. I think that's wonderful. What's in you, you can only enhance or bring out what's already in you.
Right.
And that is what people need to understand. It was in me to become a designer because I already had an eye as a stylist. A client comes in the chair, they tell her, listen, I'm going to a wedding, I need an updo. Right. Okay, what dress are you wearing? What is the neckline of the dress? How does it fall off your shoulder? How is the back? Do you need me to, and you start to create and you give her this beautiful updo. And she comes back and she's like, girl, everybody is talking about me. And it feeds into that creative side of you. Right. And then when you're challenged for Fashion Week and you have to create all these extravaganzas or a hair show or whatever, all of that ties in. I remember taking my staff one year to fashion night out in New York. And in the car, as we were driving there was about 8 of us. One of them said to me, Jules, fashion night out, what has that got to do with hair? I said, girl, when we get there, you will see. And we got there, we started to look at the windows, we started to look at the models, she's like, wow. I said, yeah. All of it is part of the creation and the creative. I want to tap into more creative side of you, So I think that's really fantastic that you found this part of you to shed light on other people who I think is beautiful. You ready for this, my brother?
I'm scared sometimes. Sometimes I get scared, but prayer always makes it help. And that's how the foundation of what I know, what I'm going to do the next time. And so it's such a beautiful thing to just to talk. I never thought I would be the person talking and interviewing. So even though like it started out as being churchy, I didn't want to be another church service. I said, God, I want to interview people on different levels.
Right.
So that's why I changed it to Xavier sharing their victory testimonies, whatever it is, from a child to a grown up or to an elderly. I want to share I would say this pandemic, all that we went through 3 years ago should have shifted you into another career.
It did.
You understand? So that some people are still stuck, that they are still there and unhappy. No, pandemic should allow you to think, to go deep within yourself and say, you know what? I need to do something different. Right now, I just feel like I'm letting all my talents come out. I can cook. That's you and I have that common. We have
Yes,
that.
we do.
We can cook.
Yes, we do.
And we love to, help people. So we're basically in that place. We're serving our community and educating our community. So let me ask. So show me some of your favorite bags.
So,
Favorite bag.
Favorite bag. Can I get up 1 second?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
So the golds and the metallics are in. So this is one of my inspired collection.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes in these two colors.
Silver and gold. Wow, that's nice.
Darling. And this is so rich that it is just amazing.
So it's like braided in each other?
No, it's woven, yeah. It's woven in. It's woven in.
Okay.
It's woven in. But you asked me about favorite.
Oh Lord, yes. Oh God, what? Let me see the other side. The back is like that too?
I tied it with one of my bag scarves.
Okay. So your bags come with scarves too?
Yes, you can always buy a scarf.
Wow.
So this has a long strap inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it has this is how you carry this bag, with the tassels hanging out on the side of it. Oh,
so you can close it if you want.
Yes, it's magnet. It closes magnet.
Wow.
And then it has this inside. And inside of it has a long strap. So this comes in 5 colors. It comes in cream, brown, camel, black, and green.
Wow, that's beautiful. That is beautiful and unique.
Yes. And that's the whole idea of creating something that, it is unique. We have a large selection of inspired bags. I've created so many inspired bags and they do very well. But I've noticed in the last 3 or 4 years, my creations are doing so much better. And it's beautiful to see that we can create something that, even though we are for the inspired and some people like what they like, you still get, and I'll show you an inspired bag. So this, for example, is an inspired Kelly.
Wow. That's a horse?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So
what is the concept behind this one?
So Hermes did a couple of different designs and they created different, aristocratic looks of different things. And the horse was one of the pieces that came on. Mm-hmm. So for example, this is the leather that is used here. It's called the pebble. and that's the pebble leather, and it's beautifully made. This little piece here is for the crossbody strap that's inside, the crossbody strap that's inside, and it's gorgeous. And then this is one of my designs.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And I'm going to bring this closer so you see the stitching on that.
Yes, wow.
And it has an accordion. It has an accordion. So all of that storage inside.
So question, the long piece that's going down, that gives you inspiration of your bag?
When you say the long piece, what do you mean?
The name brand on the side, on the turnaround, it says, yeah, that long piece explains the bag.
So it explains how to take care of the bag.
Okay.
So there is a care tag on the bag. And then there is also the buy a bag and save a life and what that's about. Okay. And then there is the brand name on it. So all of my bags, I give you a sample strap, a little sample for you to see the type of leather you're getting. Okay. This is the Napa leather. So earlier I showed you the pebble, and then this is the Napa. Okay. And then I'll show you another one that I created. So this it's a very big bag. It's a huge bag, and I'm going to show you what the inside looks like. So this is, if you look at it, the triple height, and it's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. This is the back with the zipper. It gives you a pocket. And then you have different sections of the bag in here. And you also have a strap inside of it. So even though I give you a handheld, and you can also go to the shoulder with this bag.
Wow, that's a flower bag?
Yes, it's my flower bag. You can go to the shoulder. You can still carry this as a crossbody as well. Okay. Okay. And you can see that there's a different shape of it in black.
And that comes in how many colors?
This comes in only 2, red and black.
Okay. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Red and black.
So, Juliette, does your bag only fit for men? Only fit for women, or you have a man collection too? That's the deep secret.
So I have a men's collection. I have a men's line called Juliette. Okay. So it's JG by Juls, and I'm going to expand that line in the next 6 months, because even though we have a beautiful collection, through COVID, I didn't run production as much as I did for the women's line. So I am creating, and we finalized our first set of handbags. I think I did about 22 or 23 designs. And out of that, we did a lot of the woven look bags. And we did some briefs, we did some backpacks, we did some crossbody across the chest. We did some travel sizes. We did across almost like, what do you call the pouches you put around the waist?
Those are that's for I think the waist bags.
The waist bags. So we did a few of those. We did passport holders. We did wallets. We did a couple. So I'm about to finalize that, run production, and then push that out for the fall 2024, going into 2024. Okay.
Wow. Very interesting. It's very, I'm loving what I'm hearing.
The beautiful thing is, I tell people all the time, anything you do it with passion. Because if you do it just to make money, it's going to wear you down. Yes. When you do it for passion, I am up sometimes till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And I'm very excited. And I'm happy to be up because I'm dealing with Europe. My products are manufactured in Italy. So Italy wakes up about 6 to 7 hours ahead of us.
Wow.
So when they are up, I need to be up going through emails and pushing things back, going over stuff because I don't live there. I just got 3 weeks old.
Right.
Important to find
What?
Exactly what they have done. That's exactly what they have. But yeah.
I think we're having technical difficulty because I'm not really hearing you, Julia. So while Julia's getting herself fixed up, I'm always just trying to bring new entrepreneurs in, from younger to elderly or whatever the age is. Whatever you have a collection to do, I would love to interview you on that. She's having a technical
Are we
difficulty.
back?
She'll be back. So tonight we're just bringing on. She had a passion for doing hair, being a chef, also making different collections of bags, and I thought it was a beautiful thing that my viewers can come on and hear her sharing her story on. And when she showed me her bags, so I was just talking a little bit. No, I was saying it was so beautiful when you showed.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I was sharing how I went through your collection of bags the other day, and I was just it looked like a winery of bags. And it was so cute. I said, wow, I haven't seen that before. But I love the inspirations of each bag says a story. You noticed that? That's an image of you, of who you are, because it's like we wear many hats as a person. So let me ask you this, Julia. I'm not saying your age. So what would you tell the 20-year-old Juliette, or okay, I would say the 18-year-old, the 20-year-old, and the 30-year-old of creating where you are now?
So first of all, what I would tell my 18-year-old self.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
I can't hear you, Juliette.
I said what I will tell my 18-year-old self. Can you hear me? I'm not doing anything. Okay, I don't know why it's doing this.
Yeah, it's like you paused a little bit. I don't know. We're gonna fix it out. If we're gonna do it again, we're gonna do another video again. It doesn't matter. Something is going on, but
for some reason it's going in and out, and I don't touch anything, so I don't know why it's doing that.
It's like the signal.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you clearly.
Okay, so I don't know why. So you asked a very, very amazing question, that what will I tell my 18-year-old self? I came to America at 18 years old. And I remember when I landed on the 15th of July, 1988. You couldn't tell me anything. I was the African girl coming to America, full of excitement and life and wanting to take America by storm.
Mm-hmm.
And life has a way of holding your hand and walking you through, But I think that one of the things that I pride myself in is making sure that I stay authentic.
Right.
And the importance of listening to yourself. We let other people influence a lot of things. And sometimes we put things on the back burner because we are afraid to try.
Right.
I would tell my 18-year-old self, take very good care of yourself. Your health should be number one. God should be God is number one, your health is number two. God is number one and your health is number two. Never lose sight of those two things. And then listen to your intuition. God speaks to you through you. So be quiet and listen. And don't be afraid. You know, the word fear itself is false illusion appearing real.
Right.
So don't be afraid, because I know after cancer and before cancer, I merged after cancer a different woman. And that fear was totally taken away after cancer. So I think that not to be afraid will be paramount. At 20 is very close to 18. So I'll still be on the same kind of conversation with myself. At 30, I will say, don't stop. Don't stop.
And keep pushing yourself.
Work hard and put money away. Save money. So that you have liquid money to invest in your future, whatever it is you want to do. You know, I had a mother who used to say to me at a very young age, when I was 8 years old, I bought a can of condensed milk and I made candy. And I wrapped it in little pieces of plastic, like a saran wrap. And I took it to school and I sold it. And at least twice a week, I would do this. And I realized my mother would sew the pocket on my school uniform bigger and bigger each time, because I needed to put the candy in my pocket. Because the minute the bell went for break, all the kids will line up in front of my classroom wanting to buy candy. Little did I know that whatever was ignited in me then would show up all through my life as a great saleswoman or as a great entrepreneur. I've never worked for anybody else. I don't know how to work for anybody else.
Right.
So my survival has been on my own merit and me pushing through. So it is so important for young people to understand the little signs in the beginning that you exhibit, whether it is an artist, you draw, or you create. There are people who create fabrics from the art they did when they were a child, and they learn to be a great artist, and they create fabrics that the world uses to make all kinds, whether it is tapestry, whether it is furniture, whether it is carpeting, whether it is curtains, whether it is clothes. You created this that you do. Some people are great with their hands in terms of sewing, creating. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Push through it.
Push through it. So I have a comment from Courtney Affaret. She says, what kind of skins are these made from? I think that must be the leaf bag.
So all of my bags are made from cowhide and lamb skin. Those are the two. So the lamb skin texture is a lot softer and more delicate.
Right.
And the cowhide is more durable and will last you longer. But the lamb skin feels absolutely fantastic. Right. So you will notice that I'm trying to see if I have any bag here that's lamb skin. No, I don't. I do, but you won't know the difference. When you touch lamb skin, it feels like butter, soft to the touch. And when you touch cowhide, it's a little bit thicker and durable, more durable. Those are the two that I make my bags out of. Everything you see, whether it's alligator looking or snake skin, it's usually embossed to look like snake or to look like alligator, but it's all cowhide. Right. Thank you, Courtney, for asking. That was a great question. Thank you so much.
Because it says, I have a bag by Jen, Gein, that I cherish. She said it wasn't her, but it's coming up under someone's name. So that's what she's saying. Someone is saying, everybody's calling me around the same time. Okay, so it says, okay, they said it was beautiful. Your bags are beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And
thank you for joining us.
Yes. Do you have a fanny bag, a fanny pack? That's what someone
I
just said.
do. I have one that goes across the body and also goes around the waist. It comes in 5 colors. I will post it on my Instagram tonight. That way you can check it out.
Okay. So what I was gonna ask you, I'm happy that everyone is tuning in to this conversation. My girlfriend is Juliette's very interesting, just like me. We're interesting entrepreneurs living the dream that we probably had this as a kid, that we thought we would be here. And I'm just grateful where we are today. We're in our 50s doing our things and
And
sharing
Xavier, like you constantly have to be inspiring. You constantly have to make somebody to you, ask you the best support, make yourself available, make you approachable, allow people to come
I think the signal is off. I don't know what's going on tonight. But if anything, we're gonna do this show again because it's a signal. There's a signal problem. Jules, are you there?
Here.
Well, I really had, when Maria Davis told me about you, she started sending me pictures of your stuff, and I said, "Oh my God, this is beautiful! Oh my God, this is beautiful!" So I said to Maria Davis, "Girl, I'm gonna call her on Tuesday, and we have to set up an interview because I love like doing hair. Like when I used to do hair shows, back in the day, I was a bad colorist. I can color. When I used to do hair shows with locks, I would get one of my girlfriends that do crochet. I'm doing the color. I would hire someone to do the makeup and make the woman presentable for a hair show. You have to have all the accessories. So this is very interesting to hear that Jules has bags for different occasions. And I'm just so grateful that she came on tonight. Jules Collections, you can go to www.juls, JULS collection.com. You can look at pink. Everything that I'm going to put on it, I will put it on the bottom so you can see where you can go to her shoes, go to her website and look at her bags. And so she goes back to Africa all the time and educate the Muslim women about cancer being screened early, like what we do out here in New York, in America. People need to know early. Women need to go early. Even men need to go get checked early also, to educate people on breast cancer. So everyone, I don't know what's going on tonight because she's not on and I don't know what happened. But Jules, we're going to do this show again. I was just saying that I don't know what happened because the signal is bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I checked mine and it wasn't coming from my end.
Okay.
So I think it's either StreamYard is having issues.
Yes, because she said she's got high energy. And frequency. She said breaking up again. Okay. She said check the Wi-Fi. It happens, everyone. It happens. The signal has to be. Yeah. Sometimes when it rains or the weather's changing, the signal messes up the Wi-Fi. I said, if anything, we will do this show over and better.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
because I was saying that what I said when you was going, I said, I know that you go to Africa and you educate. Education is important about whatever you have gone through breast cancer. Even in America, they do a lot of screening. You have to do it early so you can get tested and see if you don't have it or you
Right.
have it, and what the procedures you have to go forth from there.
Yes.
So Julia, so okay, so tell us about this the tea party.
So we have on June 25th coming up this year is our biggest fundraiser we do for Pink for Africa. And it's such an elegant event because women come out in their most fabulous fascinators and hats. And it's a tea party. It's initially started as a tea party, now is a luncheon.
Okay.
Because it got too big for a tea party. But the women said they're not giving up their hats and their fascinators. They're gonna wear them.
So they come with their clutch bag. They come with their different clutch bags.
They come with their different clutch bags. They come in style. They come all dressed up. The men come all suited up. Some come in different. I mean, everybody looks absolutely great. And together we raise money every year in support of breast cancer across Africa to help educate so many women otherwise who will not have the opportunity for this, and also to be able to create a financial support for quite a bit of women. So it is a great cause. It's coming together elegantly in a way that, you know, we don't get to dress up much anymore.
No.
So it's really nice to dress up and go somewhere and, you know, and look fabulous. So we're coming up June 25th. Is in New Jersey. For those of you who are in New Jersey, please listen, go to www.pinkforafrica.org and the invite is there. Click on donate and donate your cover charge. It's $125 to be part of it. It's a beautiful luncheon. We bring in very beautiful vendors to come in, and we also have an amazing art auction. So there is raffle items, there is art auction, and we talk about what we've done throughout the year for Pink for Africa and where we're going in the coming year.
So this is just for women?
No, it's for everybody. It's for women and men. We want the men to show up in support of their wives, their mothers, their sisters, their cousins, their girlfriends, their side chicks. Roll up.
Roll up. I have never. I mean, you know what? I saw one of the video. It reminded me of when you watch the black and white old classical movies, and the women would come to have the hats slanted like you're in England with their small clutch purses. Oh my God!
Yes. It is. You know, that is one of the events that we have to have a photographer, because women must look. And in the past, we've done them most of the time at country clubs. This year, we couldn't get into any of the country clubs because a lot of them were booked for weddings.
Right.
And we usually do it in June. So we're going into a catering venue, but it's beautiful. It's called the Grand Marquis, and it's a gorgeous venue. And we're taking their biggest room. I have to fill it up with 300 people. So please get your ticket.
300 people?
Well, you know, I can downsize it, but I want to be able to fill it up with as many people as I can.
Right. So
that we can really touch lives and really help much more than we did the year before.
Right. So you're evolving.
So I am evolving. That's such a beautiful word. I am evolving and I'm learning. You know, a friend of mine told me that there's a book in me, and I believe that.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm working on that at some point. But right now, my focus is building the House of Juls. So the House of Juls will have, so far, it has about 6 brands. So we have a lash line, we have a hairline, we have a human hairline, we have a handbag line, we have a men's line. We're working on shoes. We have a sunglasses line coming up, and we have a little more accessories coming up, like belts and all kinds of stuff. So we're working on House of Juls. I'm working on the website. Hopefully in another month or so, it will be ready, and we will launch everything, and we will push everything out.
So let me ask you another question. So the shoe lines, it would be for women and men, or basically you're doing
So the
unisex
shoe line, I'm going to focus on women first
first.
because
Yes.
men structurally is very different.
Yes.
So I did my homework on the women and I sat with a podiatrist and I learned
Mhm.
that a woman who is heavy on top walks differently from a woman who's heavy on the bottom. Some women, their shoes eat up quickly on the sides, on the back, some people on the toe. So really structurally, women walk very differently depending
Yes.
on how your posture is and how you are. So it's important to create a shoe where comfort is everything. Even though our main focus is luxury and comfort and style. Three things that we have to meet. So we're working with possibly putting a memory foam inside the inlay of the shoe. When you step into your shoes, you feel like, wow, okay,
Right.
now I can look good and feel good. So
Yes.
that's the idea behind the the SE shoes. So my
Mhm.
shoe line is called SE, ESI. So ESI is the name of my mother.
Okay. Izzy.
AC.
IZZY.
No, ESI.
Oh, wait. Well, that's different.
You will say easy. We is
Izzy.
no, you will pronounce it easy. For
Okay.
us, traditionally, is easy,
Izzy.
easy, because the sound e makes in the dialect is eh, so it's
Eh.
easy, yeah,
I
easy.
need to learn some. I need to
So
learn some.
so easy in my mother's tribe is a Sunday born.
Okay.
So my mother was born on a Sunday, and she's easy.
Oh,
So easy, and what I did was that my logo for AC shoes by Juls, AC E is the tip of the shoe, right? So the
wow.
tip of the shoe is the E. Then the S is the body of the shoe. Then the I is the heel of the shoe.
Oh, that's unique. It's so that is so smooth.
That's the
I love
artist
it.
in us.
It's so smooth. I love it, Julia. Oh my God. So hold on. So in Africa, so you should have a name. Your name, Juliette, is named like how your mother's name is.
So my name is my traditional name. So you're giving a Christian name. My mother's name is Patience, but
Patience.
her African name is AC.
Okay.
So you're giving a name, and then sometimes you're giving a name by the day you were born, and other
Hmm.
times you're named after somebody. So my grandmother had the pleasure of naming me, and my name is Mliomo. Mliomo means your path is blessed.
Right. See, look. Okay, there it goes. Oh my God, it's a beautiful thing. Wow, I'm loving
Yeah.
it. I'm loving it.
So, Africans, majority of us traditionally from Ghana, we believe that the name you're giving is very, very significant to how you turn out.
Right.
So your name has to be chosen in a way that it really sets the tone for your life.
Right. Right.
So my three kids all have African names, but their names are all very significant and very
Unique.
direct. Yeah.
So it's basically like the Bible, because back in the Bible days, the women that would have, back then they used to name their children from what they're dealing with or what they're passing through. So it's basically the same.
It is to a point. It is to a point. Like my older son is SENU. Senu is pressure, is gift from God.
Okay.
So, and then my middle one is NUKU. Nuku is the seed of the family.
The seed of the family. Well, because he's the middle child.
Well, he is the middle child, but because we had given my older one Senu already, we could
Mhm.
not switch it. So we gave him, because your lineage is passed on through the man. The men make
Yes.
babies. Even though the
Yeah.
women carry the babies, the men make babies. So when you have a son, he carries your lineage in terms of your name and the genetic aspect of your lineage.
Hmm.
So Henry became the seed. Henry was Nuku. Nuku is the seed of the family.
Hmm.
And after Nuku, yes, Nuku is the seed of the family. And my youngest is Sedo,
Said,
SEDO.
okay. Wow. Isn't it
Pasha.
amazing that you had 4 boys?
3.
I mean, 3 boys. Sorry. I don't know why I said 4. Because most women, when
3.
3 men,
3
that's
boys, a husband, boy, 2 grandsons now, and a dog that's a boy too. I'm surrounded by boys.
but see, sometimes some people would have all girls, and I'm like, see, I know you're blessed to have all these protectors.
Yes, and I think that, God always knows what the plan is. God always knows what's spirit in which you live in. And I'm surrounded by girls. I come from a family of 11, and all my brothers have daughters.
Wow.
So every summer I get 4 sisters, my nieces, who come to me for a good 3 weeks. And I get to feel these young girls in a way that I feel like they're mine.
Right.
I'm surrounded by, quite a bit of nieces who really make me feel amazing. A lot of them look just like me, which blows me away.
Because you could look like my family.
I'm sure you could look like one of my brothers.
Right.
Easy.
Wow.
Easy. So, as human beings, I think that Xavier, you and I, it was a phone call. And it's like we had known each other forever.
Forever, right.
Really.
The chemistry and vibe is there. But see, God, I believe God do not make mistake. When he sends me someone, it comes in a confirmation, a conversation. We can cry together, laugh together, all above, but it's always on time.
Yes.
When we least
and
expect.
you were obedient in listening. I think that's one of the gifts that comes with age, because you begin to trust yourself now in hearing and listening and truly obeying what is coming to you.
Yes.
So had Marie called you and you quickly brushed it off and you didn't pay much attention, but because you trusted Marie and had a relationship with Marie, you trusted that she's going to bring you somebody good.
Yes.
So then you trusted that source,
And it's funny that I could have been in that mood. Oh, Maria, leave me alone.
Not today.
Not today. But I was sitting here working on the next show, and she sends me. She said she was it was a pop-up show, a pop-up store.
Yes, it was a spa weekend, and I popped up at the spa event.
Because she said to me, "Oh my God, she just bought the red bag."
Yes.
She said she made it seem like she had it. She had it already. So she called me and she said, "Xavier, oh my God, I think you need to you need to interview this young lady. Her bags are awesome." So she kept on taking pictures, and I said,
and sending it.
"This card, I will call her next week, and we'll go from there." And I believe I want that authentic testimony, sharing whatever it is, because the show kind of changed a little bit for me, because in the beginning I thought it was, I'm going to preach every Sunday. I'm going to preach. I said, no, God, I want to be that journalist that comes from a different angle of interviewing. It's a Christian formation show, but I don't want it to just be Jesus. I want to be, and he's teaching me how to interview. And so I'm happy that we can, and everyone basically that comes on knows the form of God and know whose God is in their life. So this is why I'm enjoying the new me, the new challenges. And some I'm like, God, I don't think I can do it, but don't question, just do it.
Just do it. Just have a conversation. And when we started the show, you said a prayer. And that in itself is amazing. Because when you start anything with God leading the way, honey, if you fail, it's because it's not yours.
Right.
It's not because God didn't do the work, because God said this is not for you. You want to push through it. Anything you have to work too hard or fight against, where you're feeling such negative pushback, it's not yours.
It's true.
Things that are yours transitions very nicely. It flows very nicely. You will work hard, you will push through it, but it won't be where your spirit is fighting now.
Right. And the thing about it is, it's funny because usually when I bring the panelists, we pray before we go on. And someone said to me, "Why you don't just pray when you have the panelists there?" I said, "I never really thought about it that way. Normally we pray before we go on, but maybe in the near future I'll probably start doing. I just don't want it to just be the next show that it's always about preaching and all that. I wanted to do something elegant, different, and that's why I'm evolving this show. If I show you from last year to now, that's why I use that word evolving, because you're going to different levels in you.
Right.
And so that's why I love the concepts of your bags. They all have a story to it.
Yep, they do. And I think that with the story comes the journey that you're put on. And that journey, I tell people, to whom much is given, much is required.
Yes.
For me, I've been blessed in so many ways to have a beautiful family, to have beaten cancer, to have run a business that was so well, to have had amazing staff that supported my dream and fed into my dream to get me to where I am, to have had customers and a community that also poured into me through my business for me to get to where I am.
Right.
And I've built so many beautiful relationships because of that. Right. So I totally appreciate every one of them. And as I grow and evolve, I ask God to continuously guide me and bring the right people. When you came into my life, I felt your spirit. And I kept telling you, your voice just took me to my mentor, Kevin. I kept hearing Kevin's voice, and I'm like, wow. This dude is about to be my friend for a long time.
For life.
And that's how I felt.
Yes, me too.
Mm-hmm. I certainly felt that about you, Xavier. And it takes special people to see other people,
Yes.
So thank you for seeing me. Thank you.
Anytime. And one day I have to come on your show too one day. So
which one? Which show? I don't have a show.
Well, your show is coming eventually. You're going to show off your collection in different ways. So I will ask you this, Jules. Okay, before we end this show. So for the person that wants to had a dream of doing fashion, have the dream of doing something, what would you tell that person? How would you step out their way? How they would step out their way? Procrastination. We procrastinate too much. So, like for an example, I'll say this and you'll understand where I'm coming from. All these years doing hair, I've always wanted to be a chef, wanted to do this. I sing with Hezekiah Walker in the Love Fellowship Crusade Choir for nearly 40 years. But I've always wanted to do other things. And I me procrastinating. December last year, the Lord said to me, get out of my way. He said to me, like I was talking to you, get out of your way and let me share what I'm going to do. And so I had to say, procrastination, you're staying in 2022 and evolving is going into 2023. So that's why I'm just enjoying the new ride. So the person that wants to be the stylist, want to be a designer, wanted to do this, what would be the message you would say to that person tonight? Because people are going to tune in tonight to the show.
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing about this show is that you can get to watch it over and over again.
Right.
What I will honestly say is that the first thing you said was get out of your way. A lot of people, and that's why I talked about fear, a lot of people tap into their fears and their insecurities when it comes to taking that leap of faith. It doesn't have to be a big jump you do. Nobody, listen, nothing was built by just pushing up. No, you have to take it. You need to have the fundamental tools that's there for you. If it is a designer, if it's, let's say, fashion designer, in order for you to begin, do you want to go to school? Do you want to, through school, then begin to create? Some people are self-taught and they're very good at what they do.
Right.
So start creating things that, you have to represent you. I remember my mentor saying to me years ago when I first started the industry of cosmetology, he says, listen, You cannot not look the part.
Right.
You need to look the part. You
Right.
want to serve beauty, you need to be beautiful. So
Right.
you want to be a designer, every time you step outside, be a designer. Look like you are your own model and look the part. So if you can make clothes for yourself and begin to represent your brand, then you can begin to, in a small way, start to assert yourself. So assert yourself. I tell my kids, wake up in the morning, make your bed. You're making your bed begins to teach you how to begin your day. You structure yourself so that you have a structured day going. So start taking steps that allow you to get to the point you need to be. School, you start with registering your company. You start by putting money away. If you have a full-time job now, start to put money away for the fabrics you're going to buy, the sewing machine you need, all the tools that you need to set you up so that you begin this journey. And then when you start, you have to be consistent.
Yes.
That's why you have to love what you do, because you cannot, there'll be days when you be up at 3 a.m. sewing an outfit you want to wear tomorrow to somewhere because you need for it to look good.
Right.
Do research on the people who have come before you, who they are and why they came before you, because they set the path for you to walk on. So
Right.
find out who are the Black designers in our industry and what have they done and
Right.
what are they putting out. And everybody, don't even look in America, look outside, look internationally. You're a human being, you belong everywhere. Don't exclude yourself from one way or the other.
Right.
So really fundamentals, set that stage, get the fundamentals in, whether it's school, like I said, whether it's registering your company, whether it's starting that Instagram, and everything you wear, you begin to assert yourself.
Right.
If it's cooking, listen, turn that little camera on yourself. When you are about to cook, prep your stuff, make it look beautiful. When food looks good, we want to eat it. So present beautifully and start talking about your brand and yourself. What makes you unique and different? You saw my different collections here. Okay, this handbag came, this butterfly line came because I was sitting in an airport in Heathrow in England, transiting. And as I sat in the chair, I looked up and I saw strings of butterfly in the ceiling as a design. And I zoomed in and I took pictures of it. And I came home. And after I arrived, a few days after, I went online and I Googled butterflies. And I read all about butterfly, how they morph from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and how short-lived they are, as beautiful as their colors were. So I did my research. And then I realized, you know what? Butterflies represent something amazing. And they morph, they change. Human beings change. And I started to fall in love. And I've been wearing this butterfly ever since.
Right.
And I say that to say that you need to also, whatever you love, if you love to bake, if you love to research baking, who are the bakers? Who are the bad bakers around? And what does your food taste like? You know, if you can afford it, go to Paris, go work in a cafe, go study in a cafe.
Right.
Do little things that's going to set you apart. And that's the way to do it.
That's important.
That's the way to do it.
That's important. You have to have, my bishop used to say, you have to have the dream, then you have to write down you see the vision, you have you have the vision, you write it, you make it plain, and then you act on it. So this is like what we're all talking about tonight. She had the vision, she wrote it down to make it plain, and then she acted on. So that's what your action is showing now. We both in the same place.
We are. You know, and don't be afraid. Listen, you can start small. You can start small within, and now even more. If COVID taught us anything, Xavier said something very, very profound. He said COVID should have shifted all of us towards something. And if COVID taught majority of us anything, You took the lemons life gave you. You made the baddest lemonade. Some of us put a little twist of vodka. Some of us put a little twist of tequila. Some of us put a little twist of ginger ale. Whatever we chose, we made it the best that we could serve. Some of us put a rose petal on top to serve it. Others put a slice of lemon to serve it. Whatever it was, you made the best of life, what it gave you. So if COVID taught us anything, it taught us to reach deeper into ourselves and find our truth and what it is we want to do. And a lot of people made a lot of money turning the camera on themselves, whether they were home baking. I know people who became instant entrepreneurs during COVID. I know I sold the most bags I've ever sold during COVID. Women were not going anywhere, but I tapped into the hope of all of this pandemic ending and you going somewhere, you need your red bag. And they bought.
Right.
And they kept buying.
Yes.
You turned the camera onto yourself. I turned my entire basement into my showroom. And I turned the camera onto myself. And
it looked like a winery. I was so amazed. I said, wait a minute, hold up. This looks like a winery cellar, but it's fashion of different layers of bags in every corner. Our next show, I'm gonna have you give us a tour of the basement. It looks like a winery. I love wine.
Absolutely.
That's why I said, oh my God, I have to come to your house before you leave.
Absolutely. I would love to have you. I would love to have you, Xavier.
So I will say this. Let me go here quick. So Maria Davis introduced me to you. Now we feel like we're brother and sister or cousin or whatever it is. And this is Juliette Mills, Julia's collection. So, and accessories. That's why I said accessories. I put on here accessories because we don't know how Juliette is going to come the next time around, because she has this now, and in a few months it might be something bigger. And I'm gonna bring you back on, and we're gonna have another interview.
Absolutely.
So everyone, it was a pleasure tuning into the show, and I thank you for Miss Juliette Mills, Juls collection. You can check her out on Instagram. It's on the banner. You can check it out, and check her out for pinkforafrica.org, and donate, because breast cancer, we have had different, I would say for COVID, we've had different shades of cancer that has taken out our family. I've had, for the past 2-3 years, it was different shades of cancer, and then it was COVID. If it wasn't cancer or COVID, it was something else, or just regular death. And so it's important to educate, get your screening ins early, women and men. And I found out men get tested too.
Yes, they do. 1% of the world population of men get breast cancer too. As a matter of fact, Beyonce's father was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I went for mine 2 years ago. I gained weight, and I was having a situation, and my doctor sent me to get a screening. I said, "Oh, men come up in here?" So I went in. I was so shocked, and I was scared. And the doctor said, "No, you just gained weight. You're okay." But now I will tell my brothers to get checked, just like the women. Get screened early, get tested, get educated, and educate someone else.
That the self-examination cards, or the steps to self-examine, is you can Google it and it'll come up. And it's the same for men as for women. I know men who found their wives' lumps because they went, feeling up on them, and they found the lump. Right. So I think that it's important. It's important for women, for men, for people to know your body and learn your body, so that if anything shows up it's not what you're used to. Your fingers have a memory. And Xavier, you know what I'm talking about. As a hairdresser, you know this. Your fingers have a memory. The tips of your fingers have a memory. So the more you examine, the better your fingers will recognize anything different that is, you know. So it's very important to examine once a month, 1 week after your period. If you don't get your period anymore, you can examine anytime. And as a man, you can examine anytime. But you should examine in the shower when you're laying down flat with your clothes off. Definitely examine, push into the chest wall and check it and make sure that you recognize every tissue in your breast.
So everyone, thank you for tuning into Xavier's journey, and we're sharing their testimony. That's something new I just put in, y'all. They're sharing their testimonies. Juliette Mills and Juls Collection. She's the founder, designer, and she's the founder of Juls Collection. It's always a pleasure to have new upcoming entrepreneurs to come on this show and just share their testimony of what has changed for them to come to where they are now. So everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much, Juliette. Love you. We're gonna do the show over because we had some technical difficulties. We're gonna do this over sometime soon because I don't know what is going on. But anyway, I thank God for having you on, and it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an amazing, amazing time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a wonderful week, everybody.
Yes. And go to her website, check out her back. I'm telling you, you'll be amazed. You'll be like, your eyes will be like, oh my God. Check her out on Instagram.
Check me on Instagram first. The website is coming soon.
Give them your Instagram if they're not.
The Instagram handle is Juls Collections. Juls Collection Bag. Juls Collection Bags. I'm right there. Check me out, Juls Collection Bags. My Facebook is Juls Collections. And again, we are there. And then, of course, if you, in your heart, you want to donate, please go to www.pinkforafrica.org and learn about what we do, what Pink for Africa does. Thank you so much for having me.
And also send her a message in her inbox saying that you enjoy her collection. Give her a little testimony of the bag that you are about to purchase, or if you want to just know more about Pink for Africa, it's important to educate. And I'm so happy. I got to go with you one day. Take my show to Africa.
I will love that. Come along. I'll take you.
I will. So everyone, thank you again. Until then, God bless and have a wonderful and blessed night.